Ubisoft, oh Ubisoft, I had high hopes for you. Good evening everyone and welcome to my review of the Ghost Recon Wildlands closed beta. The latest addition to the Tom Clancy branded Ghost Recon series features an open world concept, and in this beta you were able to explore one of the 21 regions the game will have to offer, playable either alone or in co-op mode with up to 4 players. Now, before we talk about the gameplay itself though, let's take a quick look at the performance of the game. Here you can see the results of the game's built-in benchmark tool. I know my system isn't the best, but I found it pretty surprising that my 5-year-old CPU was not the bottleneck, but rather my 4GB GTX 960. This benchmark was done with everything set to low and AA motion blur and ambient occlusion turned off, making the game rather ugly but giving me the best performance. Now, those 60 FPS that the benchmark averaged are actually on the high side of the in-game performance, with dips down to 25 to 30 FPS during intense fight scenes. Let's put those numbers into comparison real quick. Here are some side-by-side comparisons with Battlefield 3, a game that was released over 5 years ago. Granted, Battlefield 3 runs on Ultra on my system and Ghost Recon Wildlands only on low. It is amazing to see how decent Battlefield's texture quality is, especially considering the frame rate was pretty much twice as high there. Sure, this comparison isn't really fair since Wildlands is open world and therefore more stuff needs to be rendered simultaneously, but still, I feel like this game isn't really that well optimized. Now enough about the performance, let's talk about the actual gameplay. Now for a quick summary of the plot. A drug cartel is essentially ruling Bolivia, working together with the government. You are obviously a good guy and are working together with local rebel forces to put an end to the drug cartel's reign. Now, it is a tactics heavy game in the sense that you have to take out your enemies strategically to succeed, but the game leaves you quite a lot of freedom on how you finish your missions, although I generally found it easy to fight my enemies from a distance. But, and please don't hate me for saying that the fighting system and overall experience felt somewhat similar to GTA 5 in my opinion. This is probably also due to the open world concept and many side quests you can take. Now, the controls feel extremely clunky and sluggish and, at least for me, weren't really intuitive, especially when interacting with objects or other characters. Vehicle control does not feel realistic either, especially once you leave the roads. What probably bugs me the most though is that there is no first person option unless you're aiming down your sights, then you can make the game suddenly switch from third to first person. Now, I was using a mouse and keyboard to play, as I usually do, and it felt like the whole controls weren't really designed around that, but rather only around controls, and the mouse and keyboard adaptation isn't really that thought out. But judging from this and the poor performance of the game, I think that the whole PC port is rather half-assed and Ubisoft was mainly focusing on console, which is really a shame in my opinion. So much for this quick little review. At least the game tells you to pre-order every time you launch it. Thumbs up Ubisoft. Thumbs fucking up. Speaking of fucking up, I'd highly advise you not to pre-order this game, as I don't think its current state is satisfying or acceptable considering the official release isn't just 1 month. But that's just my opinion. But what is yours? Let me know, leave a comment or send me a private message. I'd love to hear your experiences with the game so far. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you don't hate me, and until next time, bye.